When males are not held at accountability by other men for their behavior, toxic masculine behavior in society, then it spreads psychological issues in society, especially amongst the women. I am back on the story of Eunice Winstead and Charlie Johns. Eunice, the 9-year-old, and Charlie, the 22-year-old, who got married, right? And when young girls, before they know themselves, before they know their abilities and who they are, what's their purpose in life, they are whisked off into marriages like these at the age of tender childhood age of 9 years old. They tend to think that their life revolves around their husbands, and they, even when they come to know, okay, I might be having dreams, I might have abilities, what's my purpose, because they were groomed from such a young age and this naivety and lack of knowledge, then they're going to think that they can't go pursue their dreams. They're stuck being wife, and it's all about the children, and it's all about their lives revolving around their husbands. She stated that the worst part of it is that she lost an education and she lost her childhood, because I have heard from my ears, for my ears, guys actually confessing their childhood was taken from them because their parents were poor and they had to work literally early as a child. These men confessed that when they reach their adult years, like 30s, 40s, 50s, they had the urge to do things that they would have done in their childhood, to live out back their childhood, the years of their childhood that they lost. So they found themselves partying, doing a lot of things that they would have done in their teenage, childish years, because they did not get to do it when they were in their childhood. They were too busy in survival mode, working as a young boy. And that was the psychological effect that they noticed it had on them in their adulting years. Imagine the psychological effects these young girls have, other than a lost education, other than a lost childhood. What other negative impacts this has on a generation of generations coming down, where women are as children are placed into marriages before they even know themselves yet. And even Michael Jackson, a very good example. He was very vocal about his childhood and how him working from a young age, it had psychological effects on him in his adulting years, because I think, as he said, majority of how he acted in his adult years, bringing off this childish persona about him and being so weird to a lot of people, right? As a person, yes, he was hardworking, yes, he had the money, but the psychological effect of losing that childhood, completing those years, going through the childhood process and the experiences, going through the phases of life, was taken from them, and it affected them in their adulting years. So it brings me back to the point I was trying to make in the first video. Men have to hold other males at accountability, because when toxic masculinity does things, wrong things, and they are not held at accountability, it has psychological effects on those whom they're around doing it to. And if they're not corrected and held at accountability as males, they will still continue these cycles and do it again. And if men continue to say, oh, well, females are toxic too, so y'all choose better men and hold yourselves at accountability. You're picking on us and you are forcing these men to, basically giving all types of excuses why they should not do as their title have told us that they are, have been proclaiming about them. They are protectors. Children out here are being taken, married, right? Taken advantage of. And there was one comment where a woman asked, so where are all the men? Why are they not speaking against this? One man came in the comment section and said, well, it's not our place as men to speak on these things. I was like, that's dumb, because y'all are on podcasts talking about the value of a woman, increasing or decreasing, whatnot. But when it comes to speaking up for what has happened to this child and holding your fellow male peers at accountability, y'all are like, oh, it's not our place as men to speak on these things. Are you for real? So how is it that y'all find the energy, and how is it that it is your place as men to speak on the value of a woman, talking about as they get older, they lose value, the lies you tell, but for some reason, you cannot stand up to defend abuse and your peers literally taking advantage of little girls. If it is not your place to speak on these things as men, as you have said, then it should not be your place to speak on the value of a woman as men. How about that? If it is not your place to defend children who are being taken advantage of, then it's not your place to speak on the value of a woman. And now when you say that, oh, you're fearful to hold your fellow male at accountability, now I see that it's not just fear. It's a possibility that a lot of you toxic males, y'all benefit from this toxic masculinity. So you don't want to speak up. I guess that's the real truth, because it's only human to defend the poor and the weak. And y'all lack the capacity to do that because y'all realize that this toxic mess benefits y'all. If y'all are not bringing solutions to the table, y'all are just as much a part of this problem. Even if y'all are not the ones acting toxic out there, y'all are still a part of the problem because you don't hold the ones who are doing it at accountability.